May his soul rest in peace. Our late President, General Moore.
Dr. General Ike Nwachukwu, former Minister of External Affairs in Nigeria. It's our pleasure to welcome Professor Pat Udromi. We are delighted to also welcome Obong Victor Atta, former governor of Akwa Ibom State. We are indeed very glad to welcome Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, former Minister of Education, former Minister of Solid Minerals, former President, Vice President, World Bank for Africa. Thank you so much for honoring us. We welcome Professor Osagi Obaliwana. Will we continue to recognize all the eminent personalities who have honored this invitation? They are all here, sitting with us. And as the program proceeds, we will continue to recognize them as they come. I believe it is time to kick off this program, and it's a pleasure now to ask for the national anthem. Please.
I welcome you all to this strictly non-partisan national summit organized by the Patriots and the Nigerian Political Summit Group. The country is in mourning for the passing of our late President, General Muhammadu Buhari. I would like to invite you all to be upstanding in a 2-minute tribute to his memory. Presided over the affairs of our country with exceptional dedication and patriotism. He may not have achieved the general expectations in the areas of the country's economy and internal security, but there can be no gainsaying that he led with unequal devotion to the welfare of the citizens of the country. May, as I said, his soul rest in peace, and may the Almighty comfort his family. Well, I come to the summit. The Patriots, as you know, is a group of respected elder statesmen and women who are committed to achieving the unity and good governance of Nigeria under a suitable People's Democratic Constitution of its diverse peoples. Our present 1999 Constitution, as amended, is not such a constitution. It was not democratically formulated. It was instead imposed on the country through a decree by the military administration. And the governance system derived from it is not only non-inclusive, but also induces over-expenditure of the nation's resources on administration rather than on capital development. Hence, the need for a new constitution made by the peoples of our country. There are also equally incontrovertible facts about the current situation in our country. First, there is serious insecurity of life and property, with kidnappings and killings happening virtually every day in most parts of the country, especially in the Middle Belt, the Northeast, the Northwest regions, where not only huge numbers of life and property are regularly lost, but also farmers are no longer able to go to their farms, thereby impacting adversely on the country's food supply. Secondly, Nigeria has become the poverty capital of the world, with the levels of poverty and sufferings among the citizens rising rather than diminishing. And thirdly, the development of the country's infrastructure is generally lagging behind, including especially in health and education facilities, which in many cases are no longer fit for purpose. Fourthly, there is eroding sense of national unity within a pluralistic country that is still struggling to become a nation. Again, there is a palpable mood of hopelessness and lack of confidence in the future among the growing population of our young people. And overall, the present 36 federating units are obviously incapable of generating and sustaining the pace of national development achieved in the early years of our independence under the 1963 Constitution. In organizing this national summit, the patriots are of the view that the incontrovertible facts that I have mentioned can be more effectively reversed if our pluralistic country is given a more credible and truly federal constitution, democratically made by the Nigerian people, a constitution that would be in sync with the constitutions of successful pluralistic countries around the world. To those who say that the fate of a country depends primarily on its leadership, I say that the constitution from which the system of governance is derived largely determines the character of the people who get elected or appointed to govern the country from the three arms of the government. It is therefore my hope that the deliberations of this summit, which has in attendance so many leaders of thought and representatives of the country's major socio-cultural groups, as well as representatives of the important women and youth sections of our society, will produce recommendations on the key elements of the desired new constitution and the process of its actualization. The key elements, I hope, that will be discussed should include such questions as presidential or parliamentary system, tenure and rotation of the heads of government at the national and sub-national levels, unicameral or bicameral legislature, number of federating units, powers of the national and the sub-national governments, structure of the security agencies, political parties and their organization, management of the country's resources, and indeed other important features of a constitution. And in considering the process of actualizing the new constitution, I hope there would be due emphasis on ensuring that it is formulated by representatives specifically elected for that purpose by the Nigerian people, who, in order to give it legitimacy, would have to endorse it in a national referendum. Finally, I want here to thank the organizers of the town hall meetings that preceded this summit in the 6 geopolitical zones, which have provided ideas that are to be fed into our deliberations. In ending my remarks, I would like to stress the importance of speakers adhering to their allocated times so that we can have as many speakers as possible within the 2 days of our meeting. I thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here with us. And our panel is also in the house. Please, we will be recognizing these.
Your Excellency, the patriots and public spirited people convened on the warring situation in Nigeria, even as far back as to contribute to the efforts of deepening democracy, unification, and the rule of law. It deliberated on the courses of the continuous yet surmountable setbacks that have been met, the running of the affairs of state, not minding the attempt on examination of the courses. It became apparent of the patriots resolved therefore to commence the crusade for a truly people's constitution negotiated by all the peoples, ethnic nationalities, and interest groups to fashion out agreeable and happy to live with values, codes, and rules for governing our country, Nigeria. But those at that inaugural meetings were as following: Chief F.R.A. Williams, CFR.SAN, Professor Ben Wambawese, SAN, Chief Ayo Adebanjo, Chief Adebayo Adedeji, former head of ACA, Senator Abraham Adesanya, SAN, Chief MCK Ajiluchukwu, Chief Richard Akinjide, SAN, Chief Dawudu, Chief Bola Ige, SAN, Professor Joe Yeruku, SAN, Chief Bob Obuago, myself, and our secretary was Chief Lanny Williams, the son of Chief F.R.A. Williams. It was at that meeting that we agreed, Chief F.R.A. Williams as our chairman, and Professor Ben Wambawese as his deputy, and Chief Lanny Williams as our secretary. We didn't have a secretary general at that time. And we unanimously agreed to be known as the Patriots. It all started during Sani Abacha's rule. Founding membership agreed with Chief Solomon, increased with Chief Solomon Asemota, SAN, Chief Albert K. Horsfall, former DG SSS, Chief David Dafinone, and Chief Philip Asodu, and Obang Victor Atao. I am delighted that the Patriots membership now spans the entire country, as represented in this gathering today, under the leadership of Chief Emeka Anyoku, TCON, JVCO, a former Commonwealth Secretary General, as chairman, and a veteran, Wale Okuni, as our Secretary General. May I at this point request a 1-minute silence in honor of our founding members who are not now with us today. In fact, of all those members, I'm the only one alive. So please arise with me to observe the 1-minute silence of the hour. To make clear that the Patriots started advocating for a truly people's constitution long before the present administration. I need that to be clear, because time and again, when we meet to try to discuss ways forward, people in some governments will think you're coming after them. That's not so. The Patriots are not cut out for this. We were cut out to suggest ways to build a better and stronger, all-inclusive country. And there's no desire, therefore, to take the shine of anyone. We are motivated by what we believe as the founding leaders appreciated when they negotiated and agreed that the best vehicle for governing Nigeria will be this multi-ethnic, multicultural, multi-national, multi-religious mix is an unhindered federal system in which every group is happy to belong to. That said, it is noteworthy, therefore, that the various conferences, call them reform or national conferences, all agree that the Constitution that we operate today needed a total overhaul. Therefore, the need to have a process that all peoples would be part of and inexpensive to run. My own considered view is to call on the various peoples of Nigeria to a conference where they will present their conditions for living and working together for their individual and common good. We need to produce a federal constitution that ensures equal opportunities, where no one is oppressed or sidelined, and a constitution made and owned by the peoples of the entire country, Nigeria. The 1999 Constitution is not a people's constitution, for it makes it impossible for our various peoples to express themselves, develop as they should, and largely suppresses initiatives, but those impoverishing the people in most aspects of human development indices. I dare say that contrary to the opinions held by some, no state in this country, no area in this country is unviable. Every part of this country can boast of expensive land, tremendous number of mineral resources, and capable humans who can run the affairs of this country. What we need and must do is to allow those entities and humans the free access to their mineral resources and the release of their motive power to develop their resources and their land so that people can build a strong and responsible humans, responsible economies that can place our country where it belongs, at the top of the line of developed countries of the world. Our founding fathers got it right at inception of October 1960, when our country became independent. But we got it all wrong thereafter, reversing the conditions on which our independence was granted and negotiated. The need to have a truly people's constitution is immediate, in my view, for Nigeria to survive. And survive we should, God being our helper. It is also necessary, I must say, to buttress the need for decentralizing the security paradigm of our country, so that the states can have control of their security apparatus. To this extent, I will support those who are seeking to have state policing and local government policing. There is also the need to reform our present government structure and adopt a less parliamentary system, less expensive parliamentary system, We should adopt the French model. We must strengthen our judiciary and make INEC truly independent. To this extent, I will recommend to this conference the adoption of the 2014 National Conference report as we make a truly people's constitution. May I thank Professor Anthony Killer, Senator Benga Daniel, Senator Amin Lutambo Wal, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, Senator Ben Obi, His Excellency Donald Duke, and their teams that made this conference possible. I pray that Almighty God will grant us the wisdom and the strength and the courage to build a strong, reliable country in which no one is oppressed. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, sir.
As what the Patriots have done today. It was the first stage in the 50s for the Constitution. Now, the problem was that after the 1960 Constitution, which was an addressing council, problems started. And the problem then was that the control of Nigeria, they wanted to know whether it's going to be by the north or by the south. But the British succeeded essentially to provide a division between the Muslim north and the Christian south. They forgot that there are lots of Christians in the north and also lots of Muslims in the south. But that became something that till this date we have not been able to overcome. And we still talk about north and south. But what the 1960 Constitution provided for everything we wanted. And I'm sure that if we had kept to that Constitution, we would have been better off than we are today. Now, the first mistake we made was the question of eliminating the British Council, the House of Lords, as the ultimate body to look into our judicial system. And if you look at the judgment that the Privy Council delivered at that time, you see it depends on the side you belong. You're either the Democrat or those who believe in something different. However, immediately after independence, the Constitution was tampered with and in some cases was even ignored. For example, the state of emergency in Western Nigeria. There was really no provision for that, but somewhere some brilliant Nigerians dug out some documents of the British government, which gives them the right, as they say, to declare our Western House and suspend Western region. Well, those of us who are from the Midwest benefited when the Midwest was created by the administrator of the Western region at the time. But after he completed his job, he just disappeared from the scene. Also, the others maybe were not made correctly, and nobody bothered anything further. And that has been the habit and a difficulty till this day. We have been making living constitution, but I've come to the conclusion that our problem was that we didn't develop our political parties. Because if we had, we could have been a better place. India did. It took them almost 300 years to succeed in doing that. So even though only not too long ago we got our independence, I think it is right for us to now concentrate as a state of emergency to develop our political parties. I am sure, and I still say it, that if the parties of the past, the NCNC, the Action Group and the MPC had been allowed to exist, Nigeria today would have been a different country. Because the essence of parties and the development. I had written something which is being circulated, that Nigeria and the search for democracy. Because strictly speaking, I have problem to understand the type of democracy which, as a British officer, we had, and the different one now that is given to us. And I had to mention this question of, I had to mention the issue of state of emergency, because it was a weapon in the hands of the colonialists. And the thing is that this day, some of Nigerians still think we are a colony and we should still be treated as a colonial subject. I was a member of the Abuba Ato Constitutional Review Committee, which was set up under IDB, in which we also reviewed the Constitution of 1979, which had all that is required. But I got the impression, being one of the few still alive, that the whole concept was to make democracy difficult. We talk about democracy and we make our electoral commission tell us that they don't want to use technology. I'm fortunate to have been in the football team of this country, and technology has helped to promote fairness in sports. And to suggest now that the law does not authorize or makes it extremely difficult for some of us, even though we are lawyers. We found out that, like when the British trained us, you had a choice to learn how to play the game according to the rules. But by the side, you are told how to foul somebody, get him down. Some people use that as a weapon, and that's what has happened to our country. Most people now think that to do the right things, you are wrong. That the system and the society makes it difficult for you to do the right thing. Well, we cannot progress if we do not do the correct thing. And some of us who still stick, my qualification is not what I have done for government, but what I have refused to do for government. But it's never included in my CV, because and I'm not qualified for national honors, because I haven't served the government in that direction. So the object of the exercise, I believe, is that it is time. We are lucky. We are very lucky to live. And I believe that we are leaving one stage for another. An era has just ended, and a new one is coming. And the new one must be tackled. And before I conclude, I want to say, I am a made in Nigeria product. I attended St. Louis School Jos, Immaculate Conception College, Benin. I did my LLB at Koka, and my BL in Baptist. I am a made in Nigeria. So anybody suggesting that we must change, and now we have kingdoms. If you see a copy of what I wrote, I started to say it by saying that the Benin Kingdom, where I come from, expired in 1897 after the Benin expedition. And anybody suggesting that we should now go back to that, I find it difficult to adjust. Anyway, I don't have too much time to leave, so I pray to God that it may never happen, that we now have Benin as part of Nigeria. In conclusion, the signs are going on. I can talk here for 1 hour, but the signs are going on. We need to sit down and reconsider. We need an Oputa too, so that we can open up to ourselves. Because Oputa did not complete his job. And I hope that our recommendations will include that, so that for the consultation of those who have authority to make this law. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Chief Solomon Asanga. But before I bring him up here, I quickly like to recognize some other personalities who have joined us here in this hall. Chief Wole Olanipekun, who is the co-chairman of this summit.
Respected chairman of the eminent patrons, other excellencies, leaders and national leaders of various social, cultural, and political organizations, eminent personalities here present, great jurists. For want of time, permit me to welcome you all, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with an immense sense of honor, profound humility, and unwavering commitment to our national responsibilities that I warmly welcome each and every one of you to this historic event, the 2025 National Constitutional Summit. This significant gathering has been convened by the patrons and is being held here today in the heart of our nation's capital, Abuja. Today we come together not merely as individuals, representing various institutions, ethnic groups, or political parties, but as proud citizens united by a common and noble aspiration to forge a Nigeria that truly works for all its people. We gather as a group of patriots, although with differing ideas and perspectives, yet deeply committed to helping shape a Nigeria that we're all proud of. This moment marks a significant step in our journey towards unity, progress, and national development. By standing together today, we reaffirm our shared dedication to the ideal of fairness, justice, and equity, which are the foundation of a truly great nation. This summit is a citizen-driven constitutional intervention stemming from months and even years of relentless advocacy, extensive consultations, and a growing sense of public urgency. We are here because, as we have been told, the existing structure established by the 1999 Constitution has consistently proven to be inadequate in effectively addressing the core issues related to governance, equity, inclusion, and national cohesion. Our agenda for the coming days is ambitious, but aims to be straightforward and focused. We will scrutinize vital themes, including the organization and structure of the Nigerian Federation, the role and function of local governments and traditional institutions. We will look at resource control and fiscal federalism, electoral reforms and judicial reforms. Of course, security concerns nationwide, and the rights and responsibilities of citizenship in a democracy in the 21st century. More importantly, we will work diligently to ensure that no voice is too small and that no group is left behind. This summit is multi-generational, spanning different regions and inclusive of various sectors, truly embodying the Nigeria we aspire to build. To our young people, your presence here is a compelling reminder that the future of this nation undoubtedly rests in your hands. To the women, our committed civil society actors, our highly esteemed traditional rulers, and revered religious figures, your insights, viewpoints, and contributions are not only valuable but essential to shaping the path forward. Your involvement and voices are crucial in building a brighter, more inclusive, and resilient future for all. As the co-chair of this organizing committee, I feel it is essential to take a moment to sincerely commend and acknowledge the tireless dedication, hard work of His Excellency, Ambassador Emeka Anyaoku, and the wonderful team put together to midwife this process, especially the commitment of all our volunteers, advisors, and conveners. Allow me to conclude by emphasizing that this moment does not signify an end, but rather a new commencement. The resolutions and proposals arising from this summit will be carefully documented, further refined, and subsequently presented to both the Presidency and the National Assembly for their consideration. Our intention is not to foster confrontation, but to promote constructive collaboration and mutual understanding. It is imperative that we persuade our leaders through reasoned argument, consensus building, and compelling evidence that Nigeria is in dire need of a new constitutional framework that reflects the aspirations and realities of all its citizens. Lastly, let history record that in 2025, Nigeria came together not to complain, not to incite, but to build a framework for the country we desire and deserve. On that note, once again, I welcome you all warmly. I invite us to proceed with the seriousness, respect, and resolve that this moment demands. Let me finally thank the President and Commander-in-Chief, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for providing an enabling environment for the summit to hold. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you very much.
Constitutional Summit. Chief Emeka Anyaoku, GCON CFR. Other protocols duly observed. I have been brought here to read to these distinguished audience the goodwill messages from the former president of Nigeria and also His Royal Majesty, the Obi of Onitsha. That's my task here at this moment as the Secretary General of the Patriots. I wish to proceed first with the goodwill message of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo to this summit. And I read it as follows. My dear Chief, let me wish you and other patrons, that is writing to Chief Emeka Anyaoku, CFR, success in your deliberation on institution to which you have invited me. Unfortunately, I have other appointments which prevents my being able to physically be with you. But as we discussed on telephone, a nation's constitution as the fundamental law must reflect the history, the constituents, and the aspiration of its people. It must be sacrosanct. From my experience in operating our constitution, I will be the first to point out some areas of our constitution that need amendment. However, for me, no constitution can be ever regarded as perfect. But whatever the strength or weakness of a constitution, the most important issue to my understanding and experience are the operators of the constitution. The best constitution can be perverted and distorted by the operators. And we have experienced that all over Africa, Nigeria not exempted. I am more concerned about the operators of the constitution to lead in good governance and promotion of welfare and well-being of the citizenry. No matter what you do to the Nigerian constitution, if the operators of the constitution for the past 1 decade and a half remain unchanged and continue in the same manner, the welfare and the well-being of Nigerians will continue to be sacrificed on the altar of selfishness, self-centeredness, corruption, impunity, and total disregard for the Constitution, decency, morality, integrity, and honesty. At this crucial time, the operators matter more, and the searchlight should be on them. When we get the right operators, they will give us the amended or new constitution close to what we need to make every Nigerian a proud stakeholder of the project Nigeria. Accept, my dear Chief, the assurances of my highest regard. General Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. That was the goodwill message from Chief Olusegun Obasanjo to this distinguished guy. I take the second, which is from His Royal Majesty Nnamaka Alfred, goodwill message. Dear esteemed participants, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the patrons and the Nigerian Political Summit Group for inviting me to deliver a goodwill message at the National Summit on the future of Nigeria's constitution and democracy. Although I regretfully will not be able to attend the summit in person due to proud commitment outside the country, I am pleased to present this goodwill message. As we gather to shape the future of our great nation, it is imperative that we prioritize the development of a people's-driven constitution that reflects our collective democratic aspirations and realities. Beyond the basic legal and political requirements, Nigeria needs a constitution that enables it to effectively tackle the basic challenges of hunger, poverty, illiteracy, disease, and safety and security. Key principles for a better Nigeria. 1. Inclusivity. Our constitution must be inclusive, ensuring that every Nigerian has a voice and opportunity to contribute to the nation's growth and development. 2. Accountability. We must establish a system that will promote accountability transparency, and good governance. 3. Federalism with devolution of power. A true federal system with adequate checks and balances and devolution of power that will allow for regional autonomy, encourage innovation and progress at the local level, and ensure that power is not concentrated in one entity. 4. Security. The Constitution must prioritize the safety and security of Nigerians, addressing pressing issues like internal security and ensuring that our nation is protected and stable. 5. Socio-economic development. Our Constitution should prioritize the well-being of Nigerians, ensuring a level playing field for all citizens, and addressing pressing issues like hunger, poverty, illiteracy, and disease. A call to action now. As leaders and stakeholders, you have a collective responsibility to ensure that our Constitution serves the interest of all Nigerians. I implore you to work together to make contributions towards creating a framework that promotes unity, justice, and prosperity for our great nation. Conclusion. I express my gratitude to the organizers of this summit and hope that it will be a productive discussion that will shape the future of Nigeria's constitutional democracy. May God bless our nation and guide us as we embark on this critical journey. Nnamaka A. Achebe, CFR MNI, Obi of Onitsha, 12 July 2025. Thank you for listening.
View on this matter. But for now, I'm just going to read his own statement. Distinguished elders and leaders of thought, Your Excellencies, esteemed delegates and participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is with a profound sense of pride, humility, and unwavering commitment to our nation that I extend a warm welcome to each and every one of you to the 2025 National Constitutional Summit. This significant gathering, convened by the patriots in a group of eminent Nigerians, marks a pivotal moment somehow in our country's history. Today, as we come together in this historic assembly of minds and conscience from every corner of our great nation, we are not simply attending another ordinary conference. No, we are actively participating in a defining chapter in Nigeria's ongoing journey, one that aspires to reignite and redefine the fabric of our union through the creation of a people-centered, equitable, and sustainable constitution that will serve as the foundation for all our collective future. Fellow Nigerians, fellow students, patriots, Nigeria currently finds itself at a critical juncture, crossroads that will define its future direction. For a considerable length of time, the organizational structure of our nation and the fundamental framework of our governance have faced significant challenges, somehow inadequately reflecting the rich diversity of our people, honoring our collective aspirations, and delivering the lasting promises of peace, justice, and prosperity to every citizen. From the lofty hills of the Plateau region, to the winding creeks of the Delta, from the fertile lands of Benue to the bustling streets of Kano and Lagos, the message is clear and consistent. Nigeria must function more effectively. Nigeria must work more efficiently and fairly for each and every one of its citizens. That's the spirit that has brought us here today. The summit is a culmination of many months of extensive consultation, meaningful dialogues, deep reflections, and conducted by distinguished groups of Nigerians, including former heads of states, jurists, academics, leaders of labor unions, traditional rulers, and representatives of civil society organizations. Collectively, we are committed to undertaking the vital task of diagnosing the constitutional challenges that Nigeria currently faces, listening attentively to the diverse voices of Nigerians, ensuring that not only the loudest or most powerful are heard, but also those from every region, every age group, and every walk of life. Ultimately, drafting and presenting a legislative bill for a new constitution, a constitution created by the people for the people. This initiative will not involve simple amendments or superficial modifications. Our objective somewhere is to bring about profound and transformative change, not merely superficial or cosmetic adjustments. The role of the patriots. Let me take this opportunity to express my sincere and profound appreciation for the remarkable leadership of Chief Emeka Nyaku, who serves as the chair of the Patriots. My big uncle or brother and co-chair of the organization, His Excellency Senator Otumba Benga Daniel, whose steady hands and presence have been invaluable in bringing in today's gathering. I also wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our numerous elders and esteemed colleagues who have laid with unwavering vision and extraordinary courage their steadfast, principled stance and relentless commitment to the cause of national renewal through constitutional reform have been a profound source of inspiration for this entire process. Furthermore, I must make special mention of the national chairman of the Patriots Advocacy and Mobilization Committee, Professor Anthony Killer, and the entire dedicated team within the Patriots Advocacy and Mobilization Committee. We thank you all. Their tireless dedication to ensure that every part of the Federation is thoroughly consulted and actively involved has played a crucial role in making our gathering today a truly momentous and historic occasion for the nation. To those who doubted this moment will come, or that such a coalition of serious minds could be summoned in these challenging times, we say Nigeria is not short of patriots, it is short of platforms. This summit is such a platform. I would like to appeal for an open mind and honest dialogue. Let us be clear. The issue before us are not straightforward or simple. They are as old as our federation itself and as intricate and multifaceted as our collective history. Nonetheless, we must confront them with complete honesty and sense of humility about our limitations and an unwavering sense of hope for the future. We should engage in debates and discussions with conviction and passion, but never with contempt or disrespect for differing opinions. It is natural to disagree. In fact, disagreement can be a healthy and vital part of progress. However, it's essential that we do so always with the overarching aim of maintaining the unity and the purpose that bind us all together as a nation. In closing, let this be remembered at the historic summit at which Nigeria rose above partisan division, ethnic differences, fear and hesitation, and embark on a path towards establishing a new constitutional order, a federation that functions quite effectively, and a union founded on mutual consent and a democracy that really serves its people. On behalf of the organizing committee and all our partners, I extend a warm welcome once again to everyone attending the summit. It is my sincere hope that our discussions and deliberations will be fruitful and constructive, that will keep our hearts and minds open to the new ideas and perspectives, and that our collective determination remains unwavering. Thank you all for your presence and participation, and may I once more ask for your apology for not being able to be here physically, but I can assure you my mind is here and I'll be well represented. May divine guidance be with us. May the blessings of the Almighty be upon the very Republic of Nigeria. His Excellency Senator Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, co-chairman of the National Constitution Senate. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Unless we act now, we reserve this, we reverse this situation, the country is bound to go into fragmentation. So we, in consultation with other leaders and the compatriots, a group that I lead, believe the following must be addressed in the new constitution. Sovereignty must return to the people. We must get rid of this unity system and instead the federal system of governance that our founding fathers had agreed to. True federalism must be guaranteed maximum autonomy to the federating units. Custom politics must be brought down to open space for inclusiveness and real leadership. Unicameral legislature with ministers appointed only from elected representatives must be reinstated. Real mechanisms for accountability, recall and sanction for non-performing and deviant public officers must also be instituted. Impunity must end, transparency must begin. Elections must be driven by ideas and integrity, not by money. And finally, party leadership must grow from within the party. For this summit to be considered a success, the critical questions that have to be answered are, is the relationship between the nations that form Nigeria working? If not, why? And what new terms can be made to make it work? Is the Constitution helping to unite coexist for people to coexist peacefully and prosper? If not, why? And what can we do to make it work? Is our political system inclusive? Is it delivering accountable governance and promoting national progress? If not, why? And what political system will? If we cannot honestly face these questions and live here with a clear strategy, timeline, and commitment to change, then this summit, with all its good intentions, would not have been as big a success as it ought to have been. This is the right meeting, but what are our chances of success? That will depend on just one thing. Will we confront the hijacking of our sovereignty and do every legitimate thing and legal thing to fix it? If we live here with a clear, actionable roadmap to 1, restore sovereignty to the people, 2, enact a truly people-driven constitution, and 3, reform our political system to reflect our realities, then this meeting will go down in history as a turning point for Nigeria. But if we live with nothing but speeches, handshakes, and photo ops, the tragedy of Nigeria will continue and we will share in the blame. Let us therefore resolve to reclaim Nigeria together. We must not be afraid to change. What we must rather be afraid of is not to change. Nigeria's unity will only be preserved through fairness and justice, not force or fear. And if we miss this opportunity, the next chapter may be one of irreversible fragmentation. I believe, and I know that many of you also believe, that time is running out. Let this summit be a strident call for a new beginning. Let the patriots be remembered as the spark that reignited the flame of sovereignty. Let Nigeria be reborn, not just as a country, but as a true nation. Thank you very much, and history will remember this day, not for what we did, or not for what we said, but for what we were able to change. And may God bless you as you deliberate and come up with solutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Birth a constitution that would serve the interests of all Nigerians and especially the people of Middle Belt. We are here to contribute our understanding, our efforts to the birthing of this constitution which we want to birth, starting from the 1963 constitution that was abrogated by the military and using the 2014 confirmed recommendations to bring it up to current realities so that we can have a people's democratic constitution for Nigeria that will work for all. So may we congratulate all of us for being part of this historic occasion that would contribute in no small measure towards the emergence of a constitution that would work for all of us and bring to the fore the realities of Nigeria for a better Nigeria for all. Thank you very much for giving us this.
Our great and unalloyed respect to one of the best that this country called Nigeria has ever produced, His Excellency Chief Emeka Anyoko, for bringing us together here at his very vaunted age of well into the 90s. He still finds it fit and proper to labor on the issues that bother this country. And I would also want to salute our very other distinguished elder statesmen who are here with us today, my members of the Board of Trustees of Pandem, Chief Solomon Asemota, now at 89, Obon Victor Atai, 87. All of them are here with us, and we're very proud of them I'm very well placed in them. Thank you very much. Some few years back in my working days, His Excellency Ike Nwachukwu was my boss. I was one of his special assistants, and I'm always very happy to see him. I send you my greetings, sir. Let me say that we are very glad to be here, and we from the South, we have come with our very best First 11, our professors, our sons. I can see Patutomi is one of our very best. I can see Nela Ravena, SAN. I can see Professor Yinka Omorogbe, SAN, and so many others who are here to add value to this conversation and to make sure that we give our contributions. Before I go down, I would like to say this. The process that brought Nigeria to peace, particularly from after the Authoritas Constitution, the Ibadan Political Conference 1950-51, going to the Macpherson Constitution, the Littleton Constitution, the Lancaster House discussions, and up to the Independence Constitution of 1960 and 1963. One defining factor was dialogue. Sometimes I wonder why Nigerians are afraid of dialogue at this stage. Our fathers were able, ready, willing to dialogue with one another, and they endured in dialogue. The records are correct and straight that the British did not interfere in those dialogue processes. They watched the Nigerians debate, and every region of Nigeria brought out their very best to discuss on the kind of constitution. Now, against the backdrop of India and Pakistan situation, where in 1947, when they were having independence, Muhammad Ali Jinnah told his Indian counterpart that, look, we can't go together. We are going to go separate ways. And our fathers knew all that. But the great Sadhana of Sokoto, Tafa Balawa, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, Tony Namoro, and all the rest of them. My own Harold Dababri in 1957, Lancaster House said, Niger Delta will not be part of Nigeria unless you give us a special status. But one thing was that they agreed that we will build this country together. We don't want to go the ways of India and Pakistan, which is why it is incumbent on us to keep discussing, keep fine-tuning, keep making better our constitution. The constitution of no country, as General Ike Nwachukwu said, is finite. All constitutions are being debated, being discussed, being dialogued, whether it's the American Constitution of 250 years or any other constitution. People are still debating. So this forum we have come, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, with a very open heart to share, to dialogue, and to see how we can make a better country. The greatest black nation that has ever existed in history. We can do it, and this conference will set a cue for the future. I thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much. Summit, particularly at this time. And we hope that this summit will inspire the federal government to immediately start and expedite the process of retooling our current constitutional platform by popular participation beyond the normal annual token amendments. In this regard, Afenifere recommends to the organizers of this conference the report of the 2014 National Conference along with the draft constitution based on it as working documents for this summit. As an organization, Afenifere, as usual, stands ready at all times to place the benefit of its experience and resources at the disposal of patriotic forces, intent on recreating a Nigeria of our dream. Once again, I commend the organizers and charge the participants to rededicate themselves to the unity, goals, and ideals for which this summit has been summoned.
I wish you all happy and fruitful deliberations. Dated this 15th day of July 2025, Chief Ruben Famoyide Fasoroti, CFR, the leader of Afenifere worldwide, Asiwaju Yoruba.
Thank you very much, distinguished Senator Dr. Femi. Thank you so much.
He would have been here. Unfortunately, he missed his flight and has asked me to stand in on his behalf. We're very delighted to be part of this great event, an event that we expect will truly mark a difference. We are all Nigerians, and we have come on behalf of Ndi Igbo in Nigeria from Ali Igbo. Ali Igbo, we are primarily in the southeast, part of South-South, and also part of Middle Belt. We are Nigerians, and we are proud to be Nigerians. We ask that all Nigerians accommodate us in the front row. We have come here today to say that Ndi Igbo, like most Nigerians, are not satisfied with the way Nigeria is. And we can only make Nigeria a better place with some bit of guarantee arising from the Constitution. We are very proud that we have one of our own, Chief Emeka Anyoko, a distinguished statesman, in the forefront of the quest for a new constitution. Ndi Igbo have always been in the forefront in the fight to promote the interests and the well-being of Nigerians. We have been in the forefront in the pre-independence era, in the post-independence era, and we have been on the march to see that we have a better country. The guarantee we have to achieve the best for every one of us and to ensure that we can lift and have the basic standard of human life. The Nigerian who is unable to find food, the Nigerian who is unable to send his children to school, provide medical facilities, is that we have a good constitution. We must talk, and I believe that's what we've come here to do today. To talk to ourselves and to tell ourselves that the guarantee and the firm assurance that we have for a better Nigeria is that we have a constitution that serves as our guide, a constitution that we can only refer to. And when anybody goes wrong, when the government goes wrong, we will be able to refer and hold on to our constitution. And when we go to the law court, we expect that we will get justice. So I'd like to commend the eminent patriots and to say that as I was called, I was surprised that it is a goodwill statement that I'm expected to give. I've been giving a short address here, and if you permit me, I'll just mention the highlights to say that in addressing the Constitution, there are a few areas that are important to us, and those areas I will just summarize. Number one is the creation of additional states in the Southeast. How are we expected to feel if all over Nigeria we have 6 zones, the others have 6, and one zone has 7 states? So we've come to say that it is only proper, fair, and equitable that the Southeast gets an additional state to at least come to the level of 6 states in Nigeria. I would like to remind everyone here that in the 2014
National Political Reform Conference, it was resolved, it was agreed that before any discussion on state creation starts, that the Southeast should be given an additional state. So gentlemen and ladies, as you start the discussions, we would like this to be an issue. Second point is, today in Nigeria, those of us from the South, and I believe most parts of Nigeria, we are all scared of going to our homeland because of insecurity, because of banditry, and at the center of it all is that we have seen that the Nigerian police force, the national police force, is overburdened, overwhelmed, and time has come for us to push that we should have state police. The third point I'd like to briefly mention is the review of the notion of federal character with detailed, implementable constitutional provisions. The Federal Character Commission, as you all know, is in the Constitution of Nigeria. But how do we explain that in the entire Southeast, we have 5 ministers in the federal government of Nigeria, yet one zone, one state in one zone has 4 ministers? Do we feel that we're part of Nigeria? Do we feel that we're being fairly treated? So we think that federal character should be adjusted in such a way that there is fairness, there is openness, and everybody sees very clearly that we have all been properly accommodated and that we're being taken care of us. And we should be able to say, as I said, from the front row, make government in the best interest of our people, in the best interest of Nigeria. We also are of the view that on the issue of devolution of powers, that some interest should be taken to ensure that the Constitution has been reformed to accommodate prevailing realities and to promote our national growth and general well-being.
High number of people have been kidnapped. High number of people are becoming disabled or people with disability through accident or fought in the trenches, and we follow the great work the papers have been doing. I've seen some heroes here, Dr. Baiman, Femi Falada, Jemaike Wanchukwu, people who have known for over 20-25 years, who have mentored some of us. We can have a country that will count for every one of us. Thank you for this conference that has brought people with disability to be part of it out, and the gap between the rich and the poor will be bridged. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. God bless the patriot.
Thank you very much. Thank you. While she's making her way to the podium, may I please request the former minister.
For us to come together as women and lend our voices. And at the beginning, we had women who spoke of development and who contributed to fashioning how Nigeria was being run at that time. But as time went on, because of that, now the women are saying that if we are not invited, we will invite us. When I say women were in National Assembly, not that we didn't have 1 or 2 or 3, over the assemblies that we've had. There may have been no need for us to be movements, I would say motions, at amending the fake attempts at amending the Constitution. Women would have amended our Constitution, we would have done it. But no, because they are not there, their voices are not there, they are not speaking. The women are concerned with the nation. They are concerned about their country, their families. They are always thinking of. While the men are thinking of how to buy armored vehicles for themselves alone. So what I'm saying, and I am happy that we have women in this conference from the South, from Pandey, we have the likes of, you know yourself, we have the son of Omoregbe. From the Southeast, we have a powerful global voice like Obie Ezekwesili. We have Akerele Bokno. I can see Awolowo, Dosumu.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chairman, sir, may I stand on the existing protocol? It is both an honor and a sole responsibility to join this national summit on the future of Nigeria's constitutional democracy. I commend the patriots, ably led by His Excellency Chief Emeka Anyo, and the Nigerian Political Service Group for convening this timely and visionary gathering. This summit is a clarion call, one that reminds us that no nation can rise above the strength of its institutions or the quality of its constitutional foundation. For far too long, we have operated within a constitutional framework that does not fully reflect the diverse realities, voices, and aspirations of our people. It is a courageous start for a new path towards a people-driven, inclusive, and future-ready constitution. As we engage in this vital discourse, let us be guided by the principles of justice, equity, and participation. We must ensure that gender inclusivity is no longer an aspiration, but a guaranteed constitutional right, one that affirms the dignity, leadership, and full participation of women at every level of governance in our country. Equally, the rights and welfare of children must be embedded in the heart of our constitutional reform. Our future as a nation depends on how we protect, educate, and empower our younger citizens. A new constitution must enshrine their rights to safety, education, healthcare, and freedom from exploitation, giving every Nigerian child the opportunity to thrive. The summit offers us a historic opportunity to build consensus across ethnic, generational, regional, and political lines to create a constitution that is not only legitimate and inclusive, but also visionary and transformative. I offer my full support to this national effort and urge all participants to approach this dialogue with open minds and steadfast commitment. Together, we can lay the foundation for a Nigeria where every voice matters, every child is protected, and every woman is empowered to lead. I thank you and wish the summit a great success. Ogun State, Chief Benedict Daniel, all excellencies here present, our royal fathers, members of the Patriots, I celebrate Nigerian women all gathered here, led by the President of the National Council of Women Societies, Princess Edna. I acknowledge all our leaders, the youth leaders that are present here today, and all leaders of our different nationalities. Today we are gathered here to make history and to especially thank the chairman and members of the Patriot for organizing this important dialogue where we seek again to address issues affecting our country and the right constitution we're talking about the People's Constitution. The People's Constitution has to reflect the needs of each Nigerian. And all that we need to do is we have to be fair and just to every nationality. Every nationality in Nigeria must have a sense of belonging. We have different nationalities. Some of them have spoken. The woman, the gender aspect of our constitution is very, very important. As the last two speakers clearly said, having women at the table makes a lot of difference. It's on record. This morning I was reading on one of the platforms, Namibia is one of the leading best African country after Rwanda today because we have 3 women leaders. The president is a woman, the vice president is a woman, and the speaker is a woman. Now, because these women are in leadership, corruption is almost at 0 level. Most of the infrastructures are in place, governance, everything is moving well, and they have been rated as the second best in Africa today because mothers are in charge. I'm appealing to our leaders that in everything we do, we must ensure that the gender aspect is very, very important because the woman doesn't talk about herself. The woman doesn't think of herself. The woman thinks of the family. The woman thinks of the children. And once the issue of children and family is addressed, the society will be better off for it, the community will be better off for it, and Nigeria will be better off for it. The youths are our future leaders. The youths must be empowered and their needs addressed because mothers go along with the children. These 2 segments are very, very important. Once a woman is in position of authority, the family is good to go because she takes care of the entire family. And who is the family? The head of the family is the man. Why? So, gender should be properly addressed, the youths must be properly addressed, and the most important and the final aspect I want to address is every Nigerian we must change our psyche. We must be patriotic enough. It's not about the constitution. Even if we have the best constitution and the people or the leaders or the operators are not doing the right thing, we are just wasting our time. So every Nigerian must be patriotic enough, do the right thing at the right time, have the fear of God, and be fair and just in all that you do. Nigerian women, wake up to your responsibility, stand firm, and make sure you participate in every activity that leads to moving this country to a better place. The youths, it is your time. You cannot sit back and be called to. You must be out there and be seen that you lead and do the right thing at the right time. So I want to sincerely congratulate the chairman of this forum for his commitment and for organizing this very important topic, and which I know is very timely. We also thank the president for giving us the enabling environment to be here. Without his support, we wouldn't be here. And I believe that at the end of this conference, whatever is the recommendations of this deliberation, Mr. President will definitely give his blessings, and that will be better off for all of us in this country. Thank you as we struggle to make this country a better place, as we struggle to have the Nigeria we are dreaming of. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you. My time is fast spent.